Hello, my name is Charles. Today we're going to take a look at how we can quickly zoom in Photoshop. First, I want to start off with the animated and the scrubby zoom. So if I tap the Z key for the zoom tool, I'm going to put the cursor right over her eye and I'm going to hold down the mouse and it's going to animate and zoom into that location. If I hold Alt or Option and hold down my mouse, it zooms out. And to fit the image to screen, hold down Command or Control and hit 0, or I can double click on the hand tool. If I tap on Z for the zoom tool, and up here at the top, if the scrubby zoom checkbox is checked, say I want to zoom in to the lip area, if I click and drag my cursor to the right, I'm zooming in, and then drag my cursor to the left, and I'm zooming out. So that's the scrubby zoom. Again, if I want to fit the image to screen, double click on my hand tool. So here's another zoom feature that's probably turned off in your preferences. So if you come up here to your Photoshop preferences and click on Tools and zoom with the scroll wheel, click that, say OK. And now if you have, say, an Apple mouse, something like this, or your mouse has a scroll wheel, or you have a trackpad and you use 2 fingers, so you can basically scroll, zoom in, zoom out with the scroll wheel. And one of the most common ways, and I use this a lot, is hold down Command on Mac and Control on Windows, hit the plus key and you're zooming in. And if you want to zoom out, Command on Mac, Control on Windows, and hit the minus key. So that's a pretty common way to zoom in and out. So here's something called the marquee zoom. So if I tap on the Z key and come up here to the scrubby zoom and uncheck this. And now say if I want to zoom into the area across both our eyes, I just click and drag and it zooms in. And if I hold down my space bar, that is how we pan for any of these zoom in and zoom out methods. So you hold down the space bar and that's how you pan. So remember, you can double click to fit the image to screen. And here's a bonus tip. We're doing all this zooming in, and sometimes we do that because we want to work closely on an image. Well, there may be times where we want to see the image at a different angle. So if you press R on the keyboard and you click and hold, you can rotate your image and you can also zoom in at the same time. But if there's a particular area that you want to, maybe you're working with the pen tool or you're using the brush tool and it's more convenient to be at a different angle, hit R on the keyboard to rotate your image, and that might make it a little bit easier to work on it that way. To get back to where you were before, you come up here to the top and say Reset View. If you're getting value out of this so far, hit that like button. So before I showed you how to use the scrubby zoom if you were actually in the zoom tool. Well, you can use scrubby zoom if you're in any tool. So if I hold down the space bar and hit Command and drag, you can see that I am zooming in and out, and I started with the move tool. So I could be in any other tool, hit space bar, hold down the Command key and drag left or right. For Windows, it's hold down the space bar, hit the Control key and drag left or right. So that's using the scrubby zoom when you're in any tool. Another handy way to zoom is the navigator window. That is up here on the top on the far right. If you don't see that window, come up here to Window and make sure that Navigator is checked. And you would click on these. I've heard them called mountains, and you can zoom out, zoom in, and of course you can use the slider. And notice this red rectangle right here. You can move that around in your photo and zoom in or out. Notice this percentage right here. If you want, you can put in a percentage like 20%, hit enter. You can do that same thing down here at the lower left hand side of the screen. There's a percentage there, and that is the zoom percentage, the same number that's up here in the navigator. If I want to type in something down there, I'm going to say 50%, hit enter. So that's the navigator window. If you want to know more about Photoshop, click or tap on one of the videos on the screen now. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, and share this video. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's never too late to learn. See you in the next video.